Welcome to the deep dive, everybody. We're going to be diving into FRC Systems today.
Okay.
And we're going to be looking at their products and services.
Sounds good.
So if you are at all involved in wastewater, this is a great deep dive for you. They're located just north of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And they also have an office in Canada.
Excellent.
So for more information,
Yeah.
obviously head over to their website, frcsystems.com. But yeah, I'm excited to dive in. What do we got?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can take a look at what they offer as a whole. Think of this as a cheat sheet to understanding FRC, their products and services. So by the end, you'll know exactly what they offer. Whether you're just curious or prepping for a meeting, we're going to give you the basics.
Perfect.
All the essentials, the important things to know.
All right, let's talk about wastewater. That's really the problem we're addressing here.
Exactly.
And this is stuff we don't want in the environment, right?
Yeah, it's full of pollutants, contaminants. And that's where FRC Systems steps in. They have a wide variety of equipment solutions, and each one is specifically targeted to address a certain part of that wastewater treatment process.
Perfect. So let's get into the specifics. DAF Systems.
Yes.
I see this acronym everywhere in the materials. But what does DF stand for?
DAF stands for Dissolved Air Flotation. It's pronounced DAF.
Okay.
And it's a very important technology in wastewater treatment. FRC offers two main types of DF systems.
Okay.
You have the PCL series and the PWL series.
Gotcha. So PCL series, it looks like from the materials that it's all about speed and efficiency.
Yes, you're exactly right. The PCL series, it's designed for high rate treatment. So it's very fast, and it comes in a compact footprint. So ideal for facilities with limited space.
Perfect.
It uses microbubbles to lift pollutants to the surface for easy removal.
Okay. So it sounds like if you need something quick and efficient, PCL series is a good way to go.
Absolutely.
What about PWL series?
So the PWL series, you can think of that one as the heavy-duty option.
Okay.
This is an open-style DAF system, and it's designed for those high solids loadings.
Gotcha.
One of the things that really sets it apart is it has this counter-current skimmer.
Okay.
So it pushes the sludge in the opposite direction of the water flow.
Interesting.
Which minimizes carryover and just improves the efficiency overall.
It sounds like they really thought through every single
Absolutely.
detail of this. Wow.
Every little aspect.
Okay, cool. I see flocculators mentioned a lot in the materials.
Yeah.
What exactly is flocculation?
So flocculation is the process of getting all those teeny tiny particles in the wastewater to clump together.
Okay.
And form larger particles called flocks. You can kind of think of it like turning slush into a snowball, right?
Oh, yeah.
It makes them much easier to remove.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and FRC's F-series flocculators, they're pretty interesting because they don't have any moving parts.
Oh, wow.
So they're very low maintenance. They use this pipe design and these mix-in bones to create just the right amount of gentle turbulence to promote that flock formation. And then they also have these wide radius pipe sweeps to help minimize flock shearing, so you use fewer chemicals.
Okay. And there's air injection ports
Yes.
in these flocculators as well.
Exactly.
What are those for?
So those ports inject microbubbles into the wastewater, and that's going to enhance flocculation and improve that separation efficiency in the DF system later down the line.
So it's like every single step is
It's a complete system.
working together.
Everything works together. Yeah.
Okay, that's really cool. Oil and water separation. So FRC has something called a corrugated plate interceptor, or CPI.
Yes. CPI separators, they're incredibly effective at separating oil, water, and solids.
Right.
They do this by taking advantage of those different densities. So oil and water, they naturally want to separate.
Right.
The corrugated plates, they provide a huge amount of surface area within a very compact footprint. So if you're dealing with limited space, this is a good option for you.
Okay. And are these CPIs pretty low maintenance?
Very low maintenance. Minimal moving parts.
Okay.
So less can go wrong.
Right.
They're relatively simple to operate. And you'll see them in refineries, produced water treatment, frac flowback, anywhere where oil and water need to be separated.
So it sounds like a lot of different applications for those CPIs.
Absolutely. A wide variety.
Okay. So we've talked about removing pollutants from wastewater, separating oil and water. What happens to the sludge?
Ah, yes. The sludge. Well, that's where sludge dewatering comes in. It's basically like squeezing out a sponge.
Yeah.
You remove that excess water, which reduces the volume of the sludge.
Right.
Making it much easier and more cost-effective to handle and dispose of.
Makes sense. And FRC has equipment specifically for this.
They do, yeah. They have two main technologies, the belt press and the multi-disc volute press.
Okay, so give me the rundown. What's the difference between these two?
Okay. So the belt press is known for its stack design. That minimizes footprint. And it's available in a variety of configurations and sizes
Gotcha.
to handle all those different sludge volumes. The multi-disc volute press, that one uses a more advanced mechanism,
Okay.
achieves much higher cake solids.
Big solids.
Yeah. So that's the solid material
Cool.
left over after dewatering.
Gotcha.
The drier that cake is,
Right.
the less it costs to transport and dispose of. And the multi-disc also offers a lot of customizable solutions.
Okay, so depending on your need, you can customize that multi-disc.
Absolutely.
Okay, very cool. One more piece of equipment before we move on. Rotary drum screen systems.
Yes.
What do those do?
Those are really important. They act as the first line of defense, removing those large debris and solids from the wastewater before they can even enter that treatment system.
Okay.
This helps to protect downstream equipment,
Okay.
and it ensures that everything runs smoothly. FRC's screens, they're known for being very efficient and also for having a small footprint.
Okay. And then they rotate slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And I read that that's by design.
It is. It's very intentional. Why?
It's key to effective dewatering. That slow rotation allows more water to drain from the captured solids
Interesting.
before they're discharged.
So it's not just about filtering, it's also about getting a head start on
It's multitasking.
dewatering.
Yeah, they're doing two things at once.
Okay. I like that a lot. Systems that actually break down the pollutants.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking biological treatment systems. FRC has the membrane bioreactor, or MBR, and the moving bed biofilm reactor, or MBBR.
Exactly. These are the systems that are actually breaking down those contaminants in the wastewater.
Yeah.
And they do a great job at it.
Okay. Can you break down the MBR versus the MBBR?
Sure. So the MBR system uses membranes for very high-quality effluent.
Okay.
It's very compact,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows for direct wasting of sludge, which simplifies operation.
Okay.
Now, the MBBR,
Yeah.
that one really stands out because it has this high biomass concentration on these carrier materials.
So what that means is smaller tanks, more efficient treatment process. These systems can be completely automated, making them very user-friendly.
Okay.
And they also offer a lot of design flexibility to fit all those different needs.
So lots of different applications for those.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered all sorts of equipment.
Yeah, a wide variety.
But FRC doesn't just stop at equipment, do they?
No, not at all. They have a complete suite of services
Okay.
to go along with that equipment to ensure that their clients are getting the most out of their systems.
Okay, so it's like they're really partnering with them.
Yeah, they really build those partnerships. They understand that it's not just about selling a product. It's
Yeah.
about making sure that their clients succeed.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's very important in this industry.
Okay, cool. So let's dive into those services. Rental systems and pilot testing. I think these are some pretty interesting ones.
Yeah, those are great ones.
Talk to me about those.
Okay, so the rental systems, I mean, this is where FRC Systems really shows that flexibility and support.
Okay.
So they have these rental systems, which are a lifesaver if you're in an unexpected situation, emergency, you have equipment downtime, there are delays in construction, whatever it is.
Right.
You can rent equipment from them. They have a massive rental fleet,
Okay.
all different types of equipment. You can get whatever you need.
Like a safety net.
Exactly. And then pilot testing,
Yeah.
that allows clients to evaluate specific FRC Systems equipment on their actual wastewater.
Okay.
So this really de-risks the investment because you can make sure that the chosen solution is a perfect fit before you commit to that full-scale installation.
That's so smart. So it's like test driving a car before you buy it.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
get to experience it in your own environment.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And what's really great is you're not just renting equipment or conducting a pilot test on your own, FRC. They have this engineering support team that can guide you through that entire process.
So they're there to hold your hand.
They're there every step of the way.
That's huge, especially when you're dealing with something as complicated as wastewater treatment.
Right. Because it can be very complicated, very daunting.
Absolutely. Okay, system upgrades. I see a lot about SCADA, pumps, and aeration.
Yes.
Talk to me about those.
Okay. So FRC Systems, they offer a lot of different system upgrades that are designed to improve performance and extend the lifespan of your existing wastewater treatment system.
Okay.
They can upgrade your aeration systems, replace pumps, They can even modernize those electrical panels.
Could you elaborate on aeration upgrades?
Yeah, absolutely. So their aeration upgrades, they're very effective, even for DAF systems that were not built by FRC.
Wow.
So you can have a competitor's DAF system and still benefit from their aeration upgrades. What's really smart about their approach is they use standard, non-specialty recycle pumps.
And why is that a good thing?
Because it means that you don't have to rely on expensive proprietary parts.
Right.
It simplifies maintenance, reduces costs over the long run.
So more practicality, and it's
Both practical
more cost-effective.
and affordable.
I like that a lot. Talk about the electrical panel upgrades.
Yeah, so those electrical panel upgrades are all about modernizing those controls for your wastewater treatment system. So it brings increased automation, and it can potentially even integrate SCADA.
Can you break down SCADA for me?
Yeah, SCADA stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition.
Gotcha.
And you can kind of think of it like having this dashboard for your entire wastewater treatment system.
Okay.
You can monitor and control everything remotely.
Wow.
Giving you those real-time insights and a lot more control over the entire process.
It sounds like you're getting much better.
Yeah, you have much more insight.
Insight into the entire process.
And control.
That's huge. Okay. Now, jar testing. I'm curious about this one.
Oh, yeah. Jar testing is fun.
I don't know anything about it, so.
So jar testing is like a science experiment
Okay.
for your wastewater.
All right. That's all I needed to hear. I'm interested.
Yeah. So basically what they do is they're trying to determine the optimal chemical dosages for your wastewater. So they're simulating the coagulation, the flocculation, and the DAF process on a small scale. And then they analyze the results to figure out what's going to be the most effective treatment strategy.
So it's about taking the guesswork out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not just throwing chemicals at it. They're
Yeah.
figuring out exactly what your wastewater needs.
Tailoring it specifically to your needs.
Precisely. Tailored to your specific needs.
Cool. And finally, spare parts. Maybe not the most exciting thing, but certainly important.
Very important.
Talk to me about spare parts from FRC.
Okay. So spare parts, they're absolutely essential for minimizing that downtime and keeping your system running smoothly. FRC Systems, they really get that.
Okay.
So they make it very easy to get the parts you need for their equipment.
Right.
But what's really cool is that they also supply parts for systems that were not built by them.
So they're supporting their competitors as well.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They want to see every wastewater treatment system operating at peak performance, no matter who built it.
That's a pretty cool approach. It's like they're saying we're all in this together.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
When it comes to clean water.
That's right. Clean water is important for everybody.
Absolutely.
It's a global issue.
Very cool. Okay. So we've covered a lot here, from equipment to services.
Yeah, it's a very wide range.
FRC has this comprehensive approach to wastewater treatment, from that initial screening all the way to final sludge dewatering.
Yes, they really handle the whole process.
But what really sets them apart in this industry?
I think what really sets them apart is that dedication to innovation, that customer-centric approach, and that unwavering commitment to sustainability. They're not just selling products and services.
Right.
They're building those partnerships, and they are contributing to a healthier environment.
So it's really going beyond the transaction.
Absolutely.
Becoming a true partner.
They're not just trying to make a sale.
Right.
They're trying to solve problems.
Absolutely. And that's why I think they've gotten such a good reputation.
Yes, they're very well respected.
In this industry. Not just tackling challenges, but really shaping the future.
They're really forward-thinking.
Of wastewater treatment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So why should our listeners care about wastewater treatment?
Well, wastewater treatment is one of those things that's often overlooked.
Yeah.
But it is so vital for protecting our environment and public health. Every time we use water, it becomes wastewater.
Right.
Carrying with it all sorts of contaminants. So everything that we flush down our toilets, the runoff from our streets, all of that needs to be treated.
So it's not just about what's happening in our homes.
No, it's much bigger than that.
It's also what's happening outside.
Yeah, it's a whole system.
So on the streets and all that. Wow.
Exactly. And without proper treatment, all those contaminants, they can pollute our rivers, our lakes, our oceans. It harms wildlife, and it could even make its way back into our drinking water.
So wastewater treatment, it's not just about keeping our sinks and toilets clean.
Right.
It's really about safeguarding all the water
Yeah.
resources that we depend on.
It's about protecting that water cycle.
It's about ensuring a sustainable future.
Absolutely. A sustainable future for generations to come.
Okay. And that's where companies like FRC come in.
Yeah, they're critical.
Right.
They're the ones providing the technology and the expertise to treat wastewater
Yeah.
effectively and sustainably.
They're closing the loop on the water cycle.
Exactly. They're helping us to reuse this precious resource.
That's fantastic. So the next time you turn on your tap, you should think about that journey that water has taken and the important role that wastewater treatment plays in keeping that cycle going.
Absolutely. It's so easy to take clean water for granted.
It really is.
But it's a finite resource, and we need to manage it and protect it.
For sure. All right. Well, if you want to dive deeper into FRC Systems, you can visit their website, frcsystems.com.
Yes, they have tons of information there. Product specs, case studies, contact info.
So don't hesitate to reach out to them.
Their team is fantastic, very knowledgeable and passionate.
Okay, perfect. Now, before we wrap up this part of the deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay.
We've talked about the technical aspects of wastewater treatment, but what about the human element?
Oh, that's a good question.
What role do people play in this?
So technology, obviously, it's a crucial part of the solution. But at the end of the day, it's people who make the decisions, who implement those solutions, and who drive that change.
Yeah.
We need engineers, operators, scientists, policymakers, everyday citizens, all working together.
It's really a collective effort.
It is.
Okay.
We all need to be on board.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So clean water, it's not just about technology. It's about human responsibility and collaboration.
Absolutely. We all share this planet. We're all connected by water. And it's our responsibility to protect this precious resource for ourselves and for future generations. And that's what makes what FRC Systems does so inspiring. They're not just building machines. They're building a more sustainable future.
That's a great point. All right, we'll be back after a short break to continue our deep dive into FRC Systems, exploring some of their specific projects and discussing that future of wastewater treatment.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Before the break, we were talking about the human element of wastewater treatment. And it's true, FRC provides great technology, but people make it all work.
Yeah. You need skilled engineers to design the systems, dedicated operators to run them, and forward-thinking leaders to invest in them.
It's a collaborative effort, and FRC really gets that. They don't just drop off equipment and disappear. They really work closely with their clients, providing training, support, guidance, everything to ensure that their clients succeed long-term.
That partnership makes a big difference. So I'm curious about FRC's projects. Do you have any examples of how their solutions have really made a difference in the real world?
Definitely. One project that comes to mind is their work with a large food processing plant. They were struggling to meet some pretty strict discharge limits for Affarga,
Afaki. What is Afare?
fats, oils, and grease,
Oh, okay. Afar. Gotcha.
which can be a real problem for wastewater treatment systems.
Yeah, I can imagine. What kind of problems can it cause?
It can clog pipes, disrupt those biological treatment processes, all kinds of headaches.
So how did FRC help with this?
They designed a DF system customized for that plant's wastewater. Combining that with the right chemical pretreatment and sludge dewatering
Okay.
allowed that plant to meet those limits and save money.
So they met the regulations and saved money.
Exactly. That's great.
A win-win.
Yeah. It seems like FRC doesn't just offer those cookie-cutter solutions. They actually put the time in
Right.
to understand their clients' needs.
Absolutely. It's not one size fits all.
That's huge. Do you have any other examples? Yeah. Another interesting one is their work with a municipality that needed more capacity at their treatment plant.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine. Towns are always growing.
Right. And the plant just couldn't keep up with the increased flow.
I can imagine that gets pretty expensive to expand a plant.
It can be a huge expense, and it takes a long time.
Right.
But instead of recommending this big expansion, FRC focused on getting the most out of their existing infrastructure.
So what did they do?
They upgraded the aeration system, put in a new sludge dewatering press, and adjusted some of the plant's operating parameters.
So they made the existing plant work better.
Exactly. They found a way to get more out of what was already there.
That's impressive.
It really is. It shows that they can think outside the box
Yeah.
and find solutions that work.
So thinking about the future of wastewater treatment, what are some trends we should know about?
That's a great question. One of the biggest trends is a focus on resource recovery.
Resource recovery.
So we're not just treating wastewater, we're seeing it as a valuable resource.
Okay, that's interesting.
And I think that's a really important shift in how we think about this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There are some really exciting innovations, technologies that can actually extract nutrients, energy, even clean water.
Wow, it's like something out of a movie.
Right. It sounds futuristic, but it's becoming more real thanks to companies like FRC.
So how is FRC involved in this?
They're doing a lot of work with anaerobic digestion,
All right.
which uses microorganisms to break down the organic matter in wastewater and creates biogas that can be used for energy.
Wow. So they're actually creating energy from the waste.
They are. And they're also exploring nutrient recovery, which could create fertilizer.
It's amazing, turning waste into something useful.
Absolutely. It's a whole new way of thinking about wastewater treatment.
So what does this mean for wastewater treatment professionals?
Their role is becoming even more important. They need to understand these new technologies and have the skills to run these more complex systems.
So it seems like the future is about expertise and innovation.
It really is. And FRC is leading the way by investing in research and development, working with universities, and training new professionals.
Now, what about environmental regulations? How are those impacting the industry?
Environmental regulations are definitely getting stricter, and that's a good thing. We have to protect our water.
Right.
And these stricter rules are driving innovation in the industry.
So it's a challenge,
Yeah,
but also an opportunity.
exactly. And companies like FRC are set up to succeed in this environment because they're innovative and they understand the technology so well.
So it seems like they're ahead of the curve.
They are. They're not just reacting to the rules, they're anticipating them.
Right. So to wrap up, what's the most important thing to understand about FRC?
I think it's that they're not just a company, they're a partner. They're providing solutions, not just selling equipment. And they're shaping the future, not just focusing on today.
That's a great way to put it.
And that partnership goes beyond their clients. It includes the whole industry and the environment.
So they're really committed to making a positive impact.
They are. And I think their success shows that.
Okay, we'll be back after a short break to continue our deep dive into FRC systems. We'll explore some challenges and opportunities for the wastewater treatment industry in the future. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been learning about FRC systems and all the cool stuff they do with wastewater treatment.
Yeah, it's been a great conversation. They're really innovative, focused on the customer, and committed to a sustainable future.
Totally. It seems like they're really pushing the industry forward.
Yeah.
As we wrap up, I wanted to get your take on some of the challenges and opportunities for the wastewater treatment industry in general. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think one of the biggest challenges, and this is also a huge opportunity, is all the urbanization happening globally. More and more people are moving to cities.
Right.
And that puts a lot of strain on wastewater infrastructure.
Yeah, that makes sense. More people, more wastewater. How can the industry adapt to that?
We need to find smarter ways to manage it. Think about things like decentralized treatment systems. Those can treat wastewater closer to where it's created.
Oh yeah, I've heard a bit about decentralized treatment. Can you explain that a little more?
Sure. Imagine treating wastewater at the neighborhood level or even in individual buildings. That way you don't need those huge sewer networks and centralized plants.
So it's like bringing the treatment to the wastewater, not the other way around.
Exactly. And it means you can tailor the treatment to that specific location, making it more efficient and sustainable.
That's pretty cool. What's FRC doing in this area?
They're already on it. They have DF systems, membrane bioreactors, and sludge dewatering equipment that can all be used in decentralized setups.
So it seems like they're already thinking ahead.
They are, and they're always coming up with new ideas to stay in front of these changes.
What other challenges do you see for the industry?
Climate change is a big one. Think about intense storms overwhelming treatment plants and causing pollution.
Right, that's a huge problem.
We also have these new contaminants to worry about, things like pharmaceuticals and microplastics.
Yeah, I've heard about those. What can we do about that?
It's going to take a multi-pronged approach. We need tougher infrastructure, new technologies to remove those contaminants, and we need to be smarter about how we use water in the first place.
So it's innovation, infrastructure, and education.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. And I think FRC is a good example of that kind of holistic thinking.
It sounds like they're not just selling products, they're actually trying to make a difference.
Totally. They're educating clients, promoting sustainable practices, and raising awareness about water.
They're going above and beyond.
They are. And I think it shows in their success. They're committed to innovation, to their customers, and to working together.
All right, so as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one last thought. Wastewater treatment might not be the most glamorous industry, but it's so important for our health, our environment, and our economy.
Absolutely. It's a vital service, and we should all be thankful for the people who make it happen.
Right. And companies like FRC who are finding new solutions and working towards a sustainable future, they deserve our support.
I agree. They're setting a great example.
So next time you use water, think about all the work that goes into keeping it clean. It's not just about the technology. It's about the people behind it, the engineers, the operators, the scientists, everyone working to make sure we all have clean water.
That's right. It's a shared responsibility, and we all need to work together to protect this resource for ourselves and future generations.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into FRC systems and the fascinating world of wastewater treatment. You can learn more at frcsystems.com. We'll be back soon with another deep dive, but until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep exploring.